JBN, we keep you informed. I am Michelle Jones, and in the news, stunning Great River tragedy dies. Kenny Christian, the 36-year-old man injured during an afternoon gun attack in Great River, St. James, that left his mother dead at their family restaurant, has died. The police confirmed Wednesday that he died late Tuesday night while being treated at hospital. His death is just the latest body blow for relatives and neighbors who were still coming to grips with the fatal shooting of his 52-year-old mother, Rose Christian. They were shot during what is believed to be a robbery gone wrong. According to reports, the three family members were at their Triple Palms restaurant where they all worked when the incident took place. Rose and her son were in the section where food is served, while her husband was cutting up vegetables in the back. A reported eyewitness said about 2 p.m. two men arrived at the roadside eatery in a silver Axia motor car. The two guys go in at the shop, go buy a cigarette, and then them run out back. Them hear how much gunshot, about 6 or 7 gunshot fire. When them run towards the car, a 2 gun me see them having a them on, said the witness, who chose not to give a name. The family matriarch was hit in the head and died on the spot. Her death brings back unwelcome memories of the last woman murdered in the community. Nicola Clark was set ablaze by a jealous lover last May and died 3 months later while undergoing treatment in the United States. We're going through a lot of things. We're traumatized right now because we don't know who next. So we just have to look and wonder what's going on. Recently, we lost a lady who burned up. Then we lose 2 shops around there so last week. So to be truthful, I don't even know what to say, said an obviously upset man who also asked not to be named. Yesterday, the pastor for the church that the Christian family attended, Reverend Glendon Powell of the Unity All Open Bible Church, was on the scene and provided a brief session of grief counseling for family and community members. Today is a very, very sad day in the history of this particular community. This community is a community that we don't know about this kind of activity happening in, he remarked. Those killed, he said, were good people. The people that operate that business is a couple that has been around for many, many years. And the point is that these are Christian people. Their surname is Christian, and by nature they are good Christian people as far as I am concerned. These are people that have given their service and their life to community service. It is a very, very sad day in our history, he bemoaned. St. James's galloping murder rate has been a source of concern, with the numbers of the still fresh year already approaching 30. No breakthrough in St. Best teacher killing, say police. Almost 2 months after the gruesome killing of a school teacher in St. Elizabeth, police say they're yet to make a breakthrough in the case. Chanel Smith, 28, was shot dead in broad daylight just outside of the gates of the Sandy Bank Basic School where she worked. The killing sent shockwaves throughout the school community. But commanding officer for the St. Elizabeth Police, Superintendent Dwight Daly, said that investigations into her death are still ongoing. We're still looking into it, Superintendent Daly said. Shortly after the killing, police named a man as a person of interest. That man, who turned himself over to the police a day after the killing, was charged in connection with another murder in the parish. Police reported that shortly after 7 a.m. on December 7, Smith was walking towards the school's entrance when 2 men, who pretended to be working on a motorcycle nearby, pulled guns, approached her, and opened fire. Smith was shot several times. The gunmen made their escape on the motorcycle. She was taken to the Black River Hospital where she was pronounced dead. More women aiding criminals. More women are now directly involved in criminal activities in Fletcher's Land, which has accounted for 5 of the 7 murders in the Kingston Central Police Division this year. This, according to the division's commanding officer, Superintendent Beresford Williams. Their involvement was confined to washing clothes, to putting up their boyfriends, but now they have extended their reach to one, being instigators, to the persons also taking over from the men, to be the ones standing on the corners, to make the calls to alert their criminal colleagues about the movement of their rivals, the police and the persons they want to target, Williams said. He was speaking to several community members at a meeting at the Fletcher's Land Community Center on Tuesday. Williams said that the recent flare-up of violence is a result of a split in the Taliban gang. Last year, Fletcher's Land was one of the top-performing stations in terms of murders, but this year have started on a bad footing, Williams added. 79 people were killed last year in the division. However, Williams said that he and his men are determined to significantly reduce those numbers and has stressed the need for cooperation from citizens. Criminality can't thrive in any community without criminals having support from at least some of the citizens in the community. So the criminals operating this space are your sons. And let me not confine to your sons, your daughters. And I specifically say daughters, because in all the discussions that we have had, and we have had many leading up to this evening. The point has been made about the involvement of females in the crime challenge that we're having, he said. Speaking to members of the religious fraternity, he cautioned that some of their congregants jumping in church are being beaten by their sins. You are the right persons I want to talk to, because you can get the message across. You have the power to speak to your sons and daughters about cutting this crime, he said. Chang says 25 areas in need of Zozos, but no resources. The parliamentary opposition is urging the government to show up the necessary resources in order to deploy zones of special operations, Zozos, to other areas of the island that are being plagued by worsening violent crime. On Tuesday, National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang told the House of Representatives that there has been no incidents of criminal violence within Parade Gardens in Kingston and the Savlamar, Westmoreland, where Zozos have been declared since the start of the year. However, he said about 25 communities across the island are in need of Zozos, but the extensive resources required are not available. Jamaica does not have the human or capital resources and competencies to carry out this type of operation in such a simultaneous manner. Given the equally critical levels of criminality in these communities, we should not limit the tools that are available to the police. We must put alternative measures in place and provide the critical tools to control the violence until we build out the capacity, he said. But opposition leader Mark Golding insisted that the government needs to find a way. We implore the government to do what it takes to secure those areas of the country which need the additional boots on the ground. We do not feel that this very important security measure, which enjoys bipartisan support, should be curtailed in its use, where persons' lives are in jeopardy, on the basis that the particular model and the way it has been deployed in the past was too expensive to be replicated in multiple areas. The imperative of protecting the society and those communities which find themselves under siege from gunmen ought to result in some flexibility in the thinking as to how this particular tool is to be devised and used, he argued. He said the opposition recognized the funding constraints and would support the provision of larger budgets to implement the social investment aspects of the Zozo. Golding also pressed the government to urgently bring the Firearms Bill and the Emergency Powers Act to Parliament. They are important and agreed tools which a country needs, he remarked. Dr. Chang pointed out that last year, 120 people were murdered in Westmoreland, a 60% increase compared to 2020. The police say this was the fourth highest number of murders among all police divisions and mainly stemmed from violent gang conflicts. The government declared the island's 7th Zozo in southern Savlamar on January 16. It covers Russia and Dexter Street. Other Zozos have been established in Parade Gardens, Central Kingston, Denham Town, West Kingston, Norwood and Mount Salem, St. James, and Augusttown and Greenwich Town in St. Andrew. Under the law reform, Zones of Special Operations, Special Security and Community Development Measures Act, an area can be declared a Zozo once there's rampant criminality, gang warfare, escalating violence and murder, and a threat to the rule of law. Jamaica reports 527 new COVID cases, 6 deaths. Jamaica reported 527 new cases of COVID-19 and 6 virus-related deaths on Tuesday. This pushed the total number of cases of the virus since the start of the pandemic to 121,963 and the death toll to 2,615. Of the newly reported cases, there were 301 females and 225 males with ages ranging from 1 day to 98 years. The cases were recorded in Kingston and St. Andrew 250, St. Catherine 106, Clarendon 43, St. James 33, St. Thomas 24, Westmoreland 14, St. Mary 14, Manchester 13, Portland 11, St. Anne 10, Trelawney 6, St. Elizabeth 2 and Hanover 1. Meanwhile, the latest victims include 2 males, ages 28 and 84 from Kingston and St. Andrew, and an 83-year-old female and a 16-year-old male from St. Catherine, a 74-year-old male from Manchester, and an 89-year-old female from St. Anne. 4 of the deaths were previously reported under investigation. The deaths occurred between August 2021 and January 2022. According to the latest statistics from the Ministry of Health and Wellness, the country also recorded 198 new recoveries, bringing the total number of recoveries to 68,749. The country's positivity rate now stands at 35.7%. There are 559 people hospitalized, 25 of them critically ill. There are 11,814 confirmed active cases on the island. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell. to receive our daily news items.